Well, hello to the Resonance Tarot reading. Actually, it is something a little more complicated than that. It's a metaphysical reading, but tarot is the focus. I've done tarot for over 20 years. Come to find out, it really, from my point of view, my experience, doesn't predict a thing. But what tarot does do is it is the science of potential, your potential to manifest. That's what the whole thing is about. Think of the tarot reading as our destination. Okay? Its purpose is simple. We want to activate your matrix energy, what you came here for. If you believe in reincarnation, when you were in the 5D, you formulated this plan for your life. 3D, that gets kind of messed up. There's a change in frequency, and we sometimes lose our way, very often do. But that's what we're here to do, activate your manifesting matrix energy. And I call this the resonance tarot reading. Resonance is the occurrence of a vibrating object causing another object to vibrate at a higher amplitude. They work together, they benefit one another. Resonance happens when the frequency of the initial object's vibration matches the resonant frequency or natural frequency of the second object. So they work together. It's a beautiful thing. And that's what we're trying to do here. Using tarot as your ultimate destination, we use astrology and numerology as your metaphysical GPS. It guides you to this resonance of spiritual frequency, your spiritual destination. The tarot frequency, where you resonate at your manifesting best. You show off your juju. Now you combine all of them together and you begin to tap into your kryptonite, your ultimate power, the power of a spiritually based imagination. And it is very spiritually based because manifesting is your kryptonite, and that means that you believe before you actually see. Now, in the 5D, you had it all laid out. As I said, as you transfer to the 3D, it gets kind of foggy. So, working like this with the tarot, with the numerology, with the astrology, putting this whole package together, you begin to reconnect. You see the possibilities. You see what the choices are. You see your destination. That's when you resonate with your destiny. Now, here's a little setup for the reading today. 2026 is, we've been talking a lot about it. It's a critical year. It's a heavy duty year because it's a turning point, a major turning point. Now, 2026 is going to be a year where you're going to have the nagging feeling of going back home. Something like that. You know, you're going to be drawn to the past, drawn to what feels like a better time when you were more connected, more in contact with yourself. Now, of course, we can never go back in time, but you can manifest the feeling of being home again. Succeeding at that effort will ground you, something that 2026 won't do. It will not ground you. It'll have the opposite effect. So you have to tap into your kryptonite, protect yourself, and touch that thing that's calling you from the past. The good stuff, right? When you felt that you were connected, when you felt that you had direction. Now, it's a gift from birth, this kryptonite thing, this frequency thing. We all have the gift. We, in fact, use it. We manifest all the time, but in a negative way. We say positive things, but our subconscious Says, no way, Jose, not going to happen. So we always miss that positive resonating activity with our true potential. The stuff that we knew without a doubt in the 5D, and we somehow get lost as we come to the 3D. Now, the purpose of this reading is to get your spirit to resonate with that potential from the 5D. It was all laid out. You knew it. You could feel it. You could see it. You could taste it. So, what we got to do is make contact to help you step into your imagination, create your destiny. Today's resonating tarot energy is really simple. Really simple. Going back to where it began. You have to, and that doesn't mean you have to go all the way back to your childhood, although for many people it will. But you have to get back to the beginning. You have to make your way to the center of some spiritual, emotional connection. It's vital that you do that. Okay? So that is the resonating energy that we are looking at. And with that theme, here is some news that you can use to fire up that kryptonite energy. I call it liberty or death. And the reason I do it was a famous speech given by one of the fathers of the Revolution, one of the framers of the Constitution, Patrick Henry, gave an impassioned speech as they were putting this new government together with a Bill of Rights and the Constitution and Declaration of Independence and all of that. They had weenies as politicians back then, too. Spineless human beings. And so he had to fire him up, and he did with this great speech. And the last line in the speech is, people scream for peace, peace, but there can be no peace. Give me liberty or give me death. And that tone was so powerful, it really helped move us to our Constitution, our republic. So that's the reason that I do the Patrick Henry stuff. And today, we're looking at asshole Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, also connected with the World Economic Forum. And he's laying it all out. He's not just looking at a greener world. He wants a re-engineered one. They want to turn us into robots. You see what's going on with Amazon and some of the other big box stores? They're dumping hundreds of thousands of workers for robots. They're putting people out of business. They're completely destroying an economy that they've messed up beyond belief. They don't care. They don't care. Well, it's time for Americans, true Americans, to say what Patrick Henry said 250 years ago: give me liberty or give me death. 2026 is going to do that. Now, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, let's take a look at a couple of images here to help you resonate with this idea of going back to where it began. The theme of today's resonant tarot reading. And, boy, you just can't miss this guy. Bill Gates twice on the same page. Basically, he's talking about how he scammed us in terms of COVID. Kind of interesting, and very few people still know this to this day. He invested $50 million into the vaccine at the beginning of the fiasco. By the time it was done 3 years or so down the road, he changed his mind. Of course, he picked up a check for $500 million. 50 million, 500 million. You kind of get the picture there a little bit. I bet you do. How about the second insight from manifesting? Again, we're sticking with the vax thing. And we get a little different slant. Putin says, you want to work out this peace deal with Ukraine? I tell you what, I'm going to throw in another deal. Let us extradite Anthony Fauci for committing crimes against humanity. Hubba hubba. Amazing stuff. And the third insight deals with what is going on, what the deep state is doing to us. And of course, digital ID, they're pushing this hard, because the final piece, the final connection into having complete control over every area of our lives. See, the way it works now, let's say that you go to your doctor, and he or she does procedures, whatever the hell they do. Well, they send the bill to the insurance company. The insurance company then sends the bill to Washington and several departments that are dealing with health. And so there are a lot of different steps. And it's very difficult to try to follow those steps. So what they want to do with the digital ID, you don't send it to anybody. Your doctor sends it right to the deep state. Direct. And you can only imagine what that's going to do to your privacy. They're going to control every piece. Man, they'll know when you fart, what it's going to smell like. And they can predict it. That's where they have the most fun. Tell you what, let's go to the astrology. Cycles within cycles. The universe is talking. The star script for today is the future past. Remember we said you had to go back to a time where you were emotionally, spiritually connected? You know, of course, that astrology, numerology are the science of cycles. They keep repeating. The incidentals are different. The people are different. Circumstances are different. But the energy is the same. To prove it, the energy of the revolution, as well as the energy of the Civil War, are back again. They've come full cycle. That's monumental change ahead. Monumental. So go back to a better time. Let it guide you during this period of the Great Reset. You're going to need it. You're going to need it. Let's go to the tarot. This is the destination. We start with the Eight of Cups. You see this guy, if you remember the card, walking away. He has a stack of cups, 8 of them to be exact, coincidentally. And cups are your emotional attachments. They're not necessarily romantic, but they are emotional. And the Eight of Cups says, I'm walking away from this. What he's really doing is walking away from his emotional addictions. I believe the government. I believe the politicians. I believe the scientists. I had no reason to. Now you know it, and you have to walk away. That's very painful. Next card up, Queen of Pentacles. She's down to earth. She's practical. She's dependable. That's what you want back in your life. Because I'll tell you, the last 4 or 5 years has blown everything away. You can't believe in business, can't believe in government, can't believe in the medical cartel, can't believe in anything. That's a tough place to be. That's why you had to walk away with the Eight of Cups. But the Six of Cups wraps it up, and that's reconnecting to the past. Remember, we were talking about where it began, that place where there is some sort of a special, it feels emotional, but there's probably a spiritual element involved as well. You got to touch that again. You got to touch that again, because then you can not just reconnect to your past, but you're in a position where you can build for your future. So you can see or feel the manifesting energy better through this stuff. That's what the whole point of this reading is. That's why we wrap with the astrology and the tarot, and then we have all the other information for you. We want you to manifest that God-given juju. Looks like we're out of time. Thanks for your investment in time. Thanks for your friendship. Please like and subscribe. Between now and the next time you and I do tarot together, peace and blessings.